Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Everybody, it's Tuesday night. Time for another live Wicked Horror Show. As always, I'm Kevin, and I'm also joined by Tony has 9 fingers.
What is going on, people?
And Tony, you don't know this, but can you introduce our very special guest? You didn't know that he popped in during the intro.
Oh, well, tonight we do have, a repeat guest for a different movie this time. Tory Jones.
What's going on, Tory?
What's up, guys?
How are you?
Not much.
Can you hear me good?
Yep. Yeah, you sound great.
Okay,
So yeah, Tory Jones, we had you on before for was it for the Wicked One or Wicked Ones, maybe?
Phantom Fun World, I think.
Actually, yeah, probably Phantom Fun World. Yeah, well, we talked about the Wicked Ones and Wicked One because I know I definitely watched them.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they're available for streaming right now in multiple locations. It's on Tubi, which is it's a good spot. You have to watch commercials, but it's worth it. More money goes towards the filmmakers, from what I understand. So yeah, I recommend Tubi a bunch, but it's available like on Amazon and on it's even on YouTube. You can rent both of them on YouTube for a very small fee of sorts, but whatever. Are there still, do you still have like physical copies of these movies out there?
So for those films, you actually have to order them. They're available on Amazon and Walmart, some other places like that.
Okay. That's right. Because wasn't the second one was put out by like Wild Eye?
Wild Eye.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice. So that's cool.
There's actually a special edition Blu-ray for that film. And then there's just the DVD, which doesn't have all of the special features and all that stuff.
Oh, nice. Both are put out by Wild Eye?
Yep.
Nice, because I never really saw Wild Eye messing around with Blu-ray that much. So that's good. That's good that they're, it's been a while since I've gotten anything from them.
Yeah.
They used to send us stuff for review and stuff back in the day. So the new movie, the movie that it's still on Indiegogo right now, The Boy from Below. I grabbed the trailers for the Wicked One and Wicked Ones, and this is so The Boy from Below is same kind of character. Is it like a reboot, or like now that you have a bigger budget, you're just trying to make a little fancier?
So basically, when we did the original Wicked One, Fuzz on the Lens, who has since become well known for the Terrifier movies, and
actually, Stream. I just sent to my friend Angel because I just saw a news article about Stream. And I was like, hey, that's just Damien Leone from Terrifier does all the like makeup effects and stuff like that. So yeah, I didn't realize that they were they're involved in this as well.
So they were producers on the first Wicked One movie.
Okay.
And got to know them through that, and they're good friends with Jack, the actor who actually plays the Wicked One. So I've known the Levies and Steven for a while, since 2014, I guess that was. So they're not involved with this, obviously, because they just announced Terrifier 3. Michael is on the video talking about this character and why people should support it. He was one of the big proponents of me doing this film. He was one of the ones that was like, you need to do this again, do it on a bigger level, give it that same treatment that like Damien did with Art the Clown. That character was in 2 other films before Terrifier. So Michael was always one of the guys who was like, you need to redo that, and because there's something about this character. And then the other guy was Andy Palmer, who actually distributed the first film, but Andy's the director of the Funhouse Massacre.
And,
And
what was
also,
the other one?
yeah, and Camp Coldbrook with Danielle Harris and Chad Michael Murray. So,
Yep.
So those two guys were really the ones that were like, this makes the most business sense. This is your character. You know, you're struggling with your villain for this story. Why not just reintroduce this character on a more grander, bigger scale? So that's what we're hoping to do.
Nice. Well, I mean, I don't have any dislike of the first two movies, so I'm excited to see what you do with it.
Yeah.
Same deal. I'm a fan of earlier Art the Clown stuff. Although I didn't realize it was a different actor after I saw the first Terrifier.
Yeah.
And when I met David for the first time, I was like, wow, you really stepped up your game. He's like, it's a different guy. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why. I'm like, you
That makes sense.
Yeah, you made the right choice then. But not anything against like All Hallows Eve and stuff, because I enjoyed that quite a bit as well. But you know, it's a different animal now. And
Right.
with the success of things like Terrifier 2, you know, it's a good time to be an independent filmmaker. It looks like. I mean, I don't think it's ever been a bad time.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's a lot more eyes out there looking for.
But now, especially with like the writer's strike and whatever, I mean, first it was the pandemic, and then nothing was being made. Now it's the writer's strike. So now I think this is the second rebirth of independent film. So what is it? Strike when the iron's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the iron's hot for this film.
I mean, it looks good to me. I mean, again, for anyone who's watching, we have Sergio in the chat saying, "Hey, what's up?" Life is Pain is in the chat saying, "What's up? What's going on, guys?" And but for those who haven't seen, or the people that will be listening to this as well that haven't seen The Wicked One and The Wicked Ones, I really do recommend it because they're both of them, because they're both like really solid movies. And I always like to see like what like very low budget filmmakers like do to sell it. And it's always very interesting and impressive a lot of times. So, you know, those little things, the tricks of the trade that you guys know. I don't know any of these things. I'm just like, wow, that looks pretty awesome. They really knocked that one out for sure. But so yeah, so with the Indiegogo right now, you still have, at the time of recording, you have 36 days left. You're 48% of the flexible goal. You have some really cool perks. I was actually joking around in the chat the other day because you have options like to have your face on like a VHS tape or like on a poster, stuff like that. And I was like, oh, you can name a movie. You could be on. I'm like, if I could pull it off, I would probably try a VHS tape. I have this really cool like artwork that was done of me for another podcast that just disintegrated before it could even come out, and it's my severed head on a spike. So I was like, it'd be cool to have a movie called Ginger on a Pike and just have that.
Yeah, we can make that happen, man.
Yeah, for a very, very reasonable amount. So yeah, so where are you at production wise? Are you waiting to gather as much money as you can before you start actually filming, or is that already started, or where are you at?
So as of now, we're just trying to get our budget in place and see what that will be. I don't want to make this movie for less than a certain number. So taking that into account, if everything goes well, our plan is to start shooting in October. It's going to take a lot of different things, a lot of different variables with this. You know, we haven't really announced any of like the horror icons that we've been talking to or that are going to be attached to this. We will be announcing them very soon. But, you know, dealing with them and their schedules, and they're always, you know, on the circuit. And then, of course, production design for this film is just going to be huge. You know, everything about this film is something that either I'm a glutton for punishment or I like the challenge. So I'm trying to go back to like the era that I loved growing up in the 90s, which was the era of the video store. And that was like so informative to me, and my love of the genre was, I can remember going into those mom and pop video stores for the first time and just seeing all the VHSs with all the artwork and all the horror posters on the wall and just being like enamored with it. So when I started developing the story, that was like, okay, I want to do something that is set in the video store. for a majority of the film or a big part of the film. And so that's really where that came from. So we literally are having to design the inside of this video store, which one of the inspirations is, I don't know if you guys know anything about Slashback Video.
Not in my area anyways. I'm in Mass. He's in New Jersey. So we're up kind of East Coast. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's actually an attraction out on the West Coast. But if you look it up, you can see sort of the vibe we're going for with the look of our video store.
Nice.
So, and then of course with the character, you know, when we made that first film, it was made for little to no money, and then it sort of took on the life of its own for a film made for literally like $12,000. So when we had the world premiere, we had it at this film festival where there was no celebrities. So usually, you know, at like conventions and stuff, the celebrities are what draws the crowd.
Right.
Well, I was a nervous wreck because I was like, there's no celebrities at the show. And I'm having my premiere here. And then literally we walked out of the screening room and they were lined all the way down the hallway. And we had almost 600 people there that night. And from there, you know, it went on to screen at Horror Hound and then was released, sold out its first pressing on day one. And then literally people started like cosplaying as the character. We had like 3 or 4 different people that were dressing up as this character at conventions. And I was getting tagged in these photos and all these different photos of artwork. So it just kind of, if I would have had a budget for that film and a PR company behind being able to promote it, honestly, it might be a bigger deal than it is
Probably.
today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if I would have known what I was doing then and had the people around me to help make it what it should have been, I mean, it might be a different story. So that's what I'm trying to do with this new film.
Yeah. Nice.
So
that's awesome. And I was looking at so you have the cast is up here, and a friend of the show, Daniel John Kearney. He's awesome. I met him for the first time at a convention as a fan. He was a fan. We were just like, I would see him at conventions and we'd be like, hey man, what'd you get? You know, what'd you grab? And like, he became friends with Felissa, and then he's like, yeah, I've always wanted to do this. And so she's like, well, then do it.
Right.
And now look at him. He's in all these awesome movies that most of them are that I'm super excited to see because they haven't come out yet. But I'm going to have a Daniel John Kearney overload. All these movies are going to come out at the same time. I'm going to be like, listen, dude, you need to simmer down. No, but
Dan is slowly taking over the genre, right?
Yeah,
it seems like it. Like he'll come up to us. He's like, "You got to see this. You got to watch this." It's just like, and I'm in it, and I'm just like, wasn't that just like 10 movies you just named? It's like,
he's in Crust, the new Sean Whalen movie. He's in that too. Like, he's in a lot of the stuff that I'm excited about. So, but that's awesome. And any returning cast from the previous movies?
No. So with this film, well, I can't say no. Jack, who played the Wicked One in the first movie, is coming back to play the Wicked One, and Jack is the Wicked One, so that's great. There's a few other like little Easter egg type things, but honestly, this film is like a fresh start, so it sort of is taking place in its own continuity. I don't want it to be connected to those other films. It's going to be its own thing, its own alternate universe. I know we live in that era of like everything's got an alternate universe or a multiverse or whatever.
He's all explaining all of it away. Like, that doesn't make sense. It's an alternate universe, dude. Calm down. Yeah.
So Dan's going to be involved as a producer and an actor, and some of his friends, some very talented people will be coming along. I don't
want to name names, but
I'm not going to name names yet, but
yeah, I'm sure we'll hear some pretty awesome announcements when that comes to play, for sure. So how long, so on this stretch of the Indiegogo, it's got 36 days left. Is it one that you're going to continue for like however long it takes?
As long as I can. Like, obviously there has to be a cutoff because of pre-production and being able to access the funds to do what we need to do. Hopefully everything works out. Like, this is just the first week, not even the first week. Friday will be 1 week. And we already have other pledges that are supposed to come in this week that would put us at that first goal.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
if everyone comes through, then we will have hit that goal within the first week, and then we can start. Like, this is not the goal. This is just the first goal that we have to hit, to be able to say.
Even if you go to the Indiegogo, there's a link in the description,
Mhm.
and for the audio listeners as well, if you go down to the notes, there's a link there. But it talks about like you have like different stretch goals. Like first one, well, you have the 35,000 new horror name announced and free perk added to all perks. So like if you've already when you get to that point, extra stuff could be added. You have a 50,000, a 65,000, and an 80,000, and those are all to be announced. So a lot of really cool perks. So you can be in the movie for like $500, which isn't bad. I'm assuming you have to make your own way there. Where are you at?
So we'll be shooting in the Louisville, Kentucky area. So you would have to get there. We will lodge you and feed you and all of that good stuff once you're there. But here's the cool thing about this is with the video store, that has opened up like neat and creative ways for people to be involved. Whereas in another film, I feel like people have been in like throwaway roles. So literally, I have the potential with all of these movies within the movie to say, hey, do you want to play this crazy character in this fictitious horror film that exists within this movie? So, I mean, we can go balls to the wall and just have so much fun with all of these different horror movies that we're going to create for this movie. Because obviously we can mention, the legendary horror films of the past, but we honestly have to have our own films. It's kind of like that movie Final Girls. If you guys remember that movie, where it was like Camp Bloodbath or whatever was the big one. So it's that sort of same thing where we'll be able to create all these horror movies and people will be able to be involved on that level of being in those horror movies. And there is roles that they will be able to be in the main, like in the main storyline too. So there's just a lot of potential.
You're gonna go that route, so it's gonna be like a mention of a horror movie that you're gonna like almost like go to like almost like a trailer kind of deal for a movie. Or
our main characters work in the video store, and so there's a lot of self-referential stuff about horror and about horror movies and really just paying tribute to the films that I loved growing up and the things about the genre that I loved growing up. So they'll be watching these horror movies on TVs, and they'll have it playing in the video store and stuff like that.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I really like that idea. That's really cool, and it's an awesome thing for a fan of the genre to really be able to get in and be part of it. That's awesome. So Alexander Morris is saying he's always wanted to be an actor, but nothing is going to beat the space movie from 1992. I don't know.
That's from TikTok. Do not Google that.
Okay.
Anybody don't Google the name of that movie.
I'm gonna do it right now. But so yeah, Tony's a TikTok man, and we have different people popping in from time to time from his following. I'm proud of him. He's a good dude. Tony's a good dude. He deserves it. No, that's a pretty awesome it's a pretty awesome idea to have that. That's huge, because who knows? Maybe that'll like let a fire under their butts, and they'll get out there and they'll maybe pursue acting themselves more.
Right.
And now he's saying he loves you, Tony. That's uncomfortable. But
now I have a question with this, even though it is its own kind of, on its own, are you going to take from the first one? Maybe you watched, redid the first one in your head. Maybe after it's like, I would have did this different. I would have did this different. Would you take that into this movie? Or is it going to be like, okay, this is a whole new universe. It's a whole new, thought of ideas and stuff.
So you asking if he's going to borrow from the other two movies at all, or is it just a whole new?
No, I'm just saying, like, sometimes people are like, okay, I made this movie and I would have did this different, or I would have did this. Are you going to take what you took from the first two and then bring it into the?
Well, there's definitely things that I couldn't do on those films because of budget that I really want to do on this film. So definitely going to pursue that. In terms of the story, there's elements that's similar. In that first film, you know, they're going back to her hometown or whatever to this Halloween event called Wicked Fest. And because of budget, it ended up being like this tiny little like Halloween gig in this old country inbred redneck bar or whatever. So literally we're going to take that and blow that up. Like at that Halloween event on a huge level, like on a Hellfest level.
Oh, wow.
So, and then, you know, just elaborating on the backstory more, whereas in the original film, you know, the Wicked One's backstory or whatever was just like the opening. So this would be more in line with like Rob Zombie's Halloween, where there's like a good 15, 20, 30 minutes even of setting the foundation for this story.
Nice.
It's a more personal story, whereas, you know, that first film was really trying to tip the hat to Halloween and other things that I loved, where this is just not trying to be Halloween. It's trying to be its own thing. And that means establishing this character and who he is and how he moves and how he commits these atrocious slashings that he's going to do. So trying to come up with that, because, you know, Terrifiers raised that bar. It's like, you know, Art the Clown does all of these over the top kills. So in order to be relevant, I feel like you almost have to have that in some aspects. Like I can't make a movie where my kills are off screen anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like I have to show what he's doing, and it has to be enough for people to be like, I don't know how I feel. I'm going to throw up, or, you know,
I never want to see mashed potatoes again.
Yeah. So,
yeah. But so I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I like that you're doing that, but I enjoy sometimes when you're just trying to guess what's going on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So like another movie that came out like a little after one of the actresses from the movie, Skinamarink, she comes in the chat every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But that was one of those movies where it's just literally so many people like, I have no idea what I just watched. Like, and I get it. I really enjoyed the movie. I thought seeing it in the theater was better than watching it at home. Because I've said it a couple times on the show. I've never heard a quieter movie theater after the movie was done since Blair Witch Project. Like everyone was just like, what the hell was that? Like, and then like we went, like my friend Angel and his kid and whatever, and like they were like, even his son was like trying to come up with ideas of like, I think this is what happened, and like, so it was just awesome. It made everyone think, and that's awesome. So sometimes when it's off screen, like, did this really happen? I don't know. In my mind, right. I think it did, but
well, one of like Andy Palmer, he always told me, he was like, show them, don't tell them. You know what I mean? Let them make up their own mind about what it was. And then when people start discussing, I think it was this, or no, what if it meant this? And then they develop these things that you as the filmmaker, you're like, I didn't even think about that. But if you like show them, don't tell them, is sort of what I'm trying to do with this. There'll be things that'll be explained, but there is going to be aspects of this story that people are going to be like, that's crazy, off the wall, wild. Right. I don't understand what that is. And
right. And like you pointed out, it's a lower budget movies. So it's, you know, that's the thing is like with Skinamarink, I think it cost $16,000 to make that movie. So they were a lower budget movie. But no, I get it. I guess, that makes sense. So I
the thing too is saying like, I guess with promotion too, it's almost free promotion when people, especially like YouTubers, are like, okay, I have my own fan fiction where this happened or this happened. Like they do their own little. I see so many videos where it's like, this is what actually happened at the end of this movie because this is what I think happened, but there's like 15 different people telling 15 different ways, so you can look at that as a little promotion as well.
Yeah. So I did grab the trailers for Wicked 1, the Wicked Ones, and I also grabbed the pitch trailer. Do you want me to play the pitch trailer, or do you not want me to play the other ones? Because I mean, I can play all of them. Doesn't matter if you prefer or not.
Why don't you just play the pitch trailer? Because that sort of touches on all the other stuff from the
All right.
past two films.
So I'm going to do that now because Sergio's been asking if there's a trailer. All right. So I'm just real quick. So Alexander is saying that he's definitely here for the show. Tony mentioned it, and skinning is always creepy on a screen. I'm not sure what that means, but anyways, this the pitch trailer for The Boy from Below. Tongue twister for me. It's been a long day. About 6 minutes, 6 seconds long. So I'm going to play that now. We'll be back. All right, here we go.
Hello horror fans, I'm director Tory Jones, here to talk to you about the Indiegogo campaign for our upcoming horror film, The Boy from Below. The Boy from Below is a reimagining and a reboot set to reintroduce audiences to my most well-known character, the Wicked One, and hopefully will give rise to a new horror icon.
In 2014, I set out to introduce a new slasher character inspired by the horror heavyweights of films past. This would lead to the creation of Colin Miller, a corrupted teen who transforms into a hulking psychopath in a scarecrow mask. It would take 2 years, but finally The Wicked One premiered at Fright Night Film Festival 2016 to a sold-out crowd of nearly 600 people. The film took home 6 awards that evening, and a few months later, the film went on to screen at Horror Hound Weekend before being released domestically by Petrie Entertainment in 2017. The film sold out its first pressing on day one at all major retailers, and to this day is still the most financially successful film I've ever released. Since its release, the film has went on to win several more awards, introduce a second installment, amass cosplayers in different countries, and surpass all expectations I could have had for this tiny little indie flick made for no money. I've spent the last 9 years taking this character from conventions to film festivals and everywhere in between, building a brand, all in hopes to lead to this very moment. In an era starved for original horror characters who cross over into mainstream pop culture, our goal is to take our most ambitious large-scale swing at bringing a new face to genre fans to rally behind and to root for. We understand the odds, but we also believe in this character enough to swing for the fences. Our campaign has tiered goals we hope to hit over its duration in order to bring this story to life.
The Wicked One is a character that you can tell that Jones has put so much love and thought into from the moment in the first film where we see him grab that mask off the scarecrow. It's almost poetic. You can tell that a lot of love and passion went into that film.
My name is Roman Josart of Studio 605. I was the cinematographer and editor for The Wicked One and its sequel, Wicked Ones. Since 2014, I've watched Tory not only bring this character to life, I've watched him grow as a filmmaker and a storyteller. Tory's ability really lies in being able to create a three-dimensional characters that you want to root for, even though they're often the bad guy. Much like slasher icons from the past cinema, he's not only creating these bigger-than-life characters, but building amazing worlds in which these characters live. The Boy from Below will be a collection of all of that, and I hope we have your support to continue the world building of Colin Miller, the Wicked One, the Boy from Below.
Michael Levy here. You may recognize me as Will the Exterminator in the original Terrifier film. And you guessed it, I was an assistant director and producer on Terrifier 2, and I'm also the director of the upcoming horror film Stream that you guys might have heard of. Anyway, I'm here today to talk about my good buddy, Tory Jones, and his new film, The Boy from Below. And he's bringing back a character that I think could really be something special in the horror industry. And I'm glad that he's going bigger, he's going bolder, he's going larger with it. The character from The Wicked One, played by my buddy, Jack Norman, and in the original film. And I just got to say, I've been a big supporter of Tory's for many years, and I've been a big supporter of this character, and I really think that he has something here with The Wicked One. So I'm happy to see that he's revisiting, and he's revamping, and he's reimagining this character, and he's going to try to do it right this time with a bigger budget and really get creative and bold with it. And that's why he's running this Indiegogo campaign. He wants to get the horror community behind it. Again, the great thing about this horror community and all of us is that we're horror fans, and for the filmmaker part of it, it's horror fans making movies for horror fans, and that's exactly what Tory's trying to do here with The Boy from Below. And that's really what he's going to be delivering with the Wicked One character again. So anyway, please support if you can. I can't wait to see this film come out. I can't wait to see it realized. And, I want to see him do it right. I want to see him do it big. And I'm really excited to see where everything goes. Anyway, guys, make sure to support him, and I'll see you at the movies.
Hey, what's going on? This is Andy Palmer, bringing back The Wicked One bigger and better than ever. I had the pleasure of distributing his first film, The Wicked One. It's the most successful film we ever did at Dark Cuts, and we're just super excited for him. Go make this thing. It's going to be great to see The Wicked One on a bigger stage.
So here The Wicked One's coming back, and I am so excited to see this. I love that Jack is back as The Wicked One. In addition, just Tory's first envisioning with this, it was a perfect love letter to Halloween. So I think all the slasher fans out there and Carpenter fans out there this is one not to miss.
The Boy from Below is the Wicked One movie that fans deserve and need to see. So with all that being said, please check out our Indiegogo campaign, all the fun and unique perks and ways that you can become involved as we set out to reintroduce this character of the Wicked One, the Boy from Below. We'll see you soon.
Right on. It's pretty dope. Looks pretty dope. Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's going to be great. And I started rewatching the other movies just because I've seen them, but it's been a while. So, and I was watching the first one today while I was trying to work. You get a little distracted when the stuff's going on the screen. But yeah, and I was just like, I really got to sit down and just pay attention to this one again. Like and that being said, for as much as I like the first two, this one looks like it's going to be even better. And if you want to see what you're getting into, like I said, go check out it's streaming all over the place. So I definitely recommend that. And Angel, who I thought was going to be on tonight, but I guess he can't. His response was hell yeah. So I agree, Angel, hell yeah. And look at that. Wow, that looked amazing. There you go, right there.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, for real. So I started talking about the perks just for film buffs out there. There's besides, some people can't cut $500 to be in a movie. I get it. I can't do it. If I could, I would, believe me. But even for like $17, you can be a special thanks, like in the credits, right? And you have a digital download for $27. You can get a special edition Blu-ray for $35. Name a movie in the VHS store for $53. But if you're going to do that, might as well just bump it up a little bit and have your face on a VHS cover for $90. Am I right?
Yep.
Man, I don't know. My wife's going to kill me. I'm just letting you know. But yeah, there's a bunch. You can have your face on a poster. Does that include the VHS as well?
Yep.
So for another $60, you get your face on a poster and on a VHS, and call it a day. Then you can just retire from there. Let me see. Does a special edition come signed? I think most of the stuff comes signed, doesn't it?
Yep.
So there you go. Special edition comes signed. And all this stuff. One thing that people got to Angel saying, let's get our mugs on a VHS slipcover. All right. So one of the things that a lot of people, and this is what I've heard from other filmmakers and other people that have done these kind of fundraising and stuff like that, is pay attention to estimated shipping. It's estimated, and it's not till October 2024. So you get these people that pay, and then they're like, "Where's my movie? Where's my movie?" It's like, yeah.
Well, we got to make it first. That takes several months to make it. So if we're starting in October, and then we'll have to edit, which will take a few months. So in a perfect world, we will have the film edited and premiered within a year.
Right.
That's the cool thing about shooting in October, is I can work towards the following October to release it and get the perks out. So
right. Yeah, and Life is Pain saying that he'll definitely check this out. So that's awesome. And yeah, I don't know. It's really it looks awesome. I always love these little perks, but I'm saying little. Meanwhile, I can't afford most of them. But
there will be new perks every Friday. We're going to release new perks. This Friday there'll be some new perks released. There'll be a new bundle, which will be the Legacy bundle, which will have all kinds of Boy from Below, Wicked One stuff in it, including the previous 2 films and this new film. So,
oh wow, that's pretty dope. Pretty dope. So, is there anything that you're? I mean, I know you don't want to think negative, but is there anything that you're nervous about with this one? Like, you have the experience with the first 2; they went well. But is there anything that is kind of like, oh crap? Hopefully I can get this done. Whatever. Like, I'm sure you're going to be shooting for the fences, Yeah. And so, is there anything that you're nervous about that you can talk about even?
Well, my goal with this film is, number one, the thing I'm most nervous about is getting the funding for the film. If I can just get the funding, then that's half the battle. That's my least favorite part of this process, is finding the financing to make the movie. Other than that, really just making sure that I hire the right people to be involved, because that will make or break an experience making a movie. And then, of course, just really trying to do a film on the level of what you heard in that video. Do it big, do it right, and to the point where someone says, hey, this deserves a limited theatrical release for a few days in a theater, because that's what's making the most money. And I've not done that yet. So that's really what my focus is trying to do a film that is worthy of that. Because I love making movies, but I would love to make some money making movies.
It'd be fantastic. Yeah, it'd be great. Like, talking to people like David Howard Thornton, and he was a waiter for like ever in New York or whatever. And, I'm like, oh, so you still do? He's like, oh, no. He's like, I'm doing this full time now. I'm like, that's amazing. Like to find your dream and like bust your butt to get to something cool and then finally have it work out where you're like what you want to do, like what, your perfect choice of what to do for a job just works out for you and you're able to do what you love every day. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's stressful just like every other job, but you're creating art. So whether or not some people think horror movies are art, I do think they're art. So yeah, I respect that a lot.
But then
that's the focus, and really with the character too, making a character. I feel like we need, outside of what they accomplished with Art the Clown, there's not been another character in the last.
Oh yeah,
I mean, probably since the Hatchet movies, right?
Yep.
And I think that in some aspects that didn't even reach the Terrifier level.
I agree 100%. For as much as I like the Hatchet movies, and I love the Hatchet movies,
because some people don't even know it. It's like, oh yeah, Victor Crowley. They're like, who?
Right.
But now it's like Art the Clown, and your everyday people that don't watch horror movies. They're like, oh, did you see Terrifier? It's like, yes.
It transcended. I mean,
so before, like I moderated a panel forum like last year up in upstate New York. And like I was like, hey, I'm going away for the weekend, guys, at work, like chatting on Teams. And I was like, I'm going to go hang out with this guy. And I put a picture of Art the Clown, and everyone's like, oh my God, what is that? And then like literally, like as soon as it started hitting the news, like, didn't you do something with that guy? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, how's the movie? I'm like, it's fantastic. You're like, I don't know what your thoughts are on like gore, but if you can put up with it, have at it, Right. And there's some people that, I've been like, oh, it's too much. But I'm like, that's good though. It's pushing the envelope, it's really pushing it. So that's good. And it's funny because while that was playing, I actually got a message from David on my phone. But it was I'd asked him if he wanted to do a podcast for a friend of mine that was asking me about it. So he messaged me back. Good timing. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's something I'm excited about. And I agree, we haven't had and even David as a person, we haven't had like a new horror icon in a very long time. So Even Victor Crowley was, played by Kane, who was already an icon. So,
Yeah.
It's exciting to see, and it couldn't have happened to better people.
Right.
Falls on the Lens guys, David, Damien.
Absolutely.
They're yeah. I'm just super happy for them, and I would like to add you to that list. So hopefully I can say the same thing. Be like,
I want to add me to that list too. How cool would it be to just be known to be known for something? I think, for me, the Wicked One is that character that has the potential to do it, more so than anything else. So I'm really, this is my swing for the fences, and hit or miss. Hopefully I can take my biggest swing at it, and people respond to it. I think a lot of it is right place, right time. Those Hatchet movies were gory and crazy and over the top kills and stuff too, but again, I just don't think they reached the level. That character did not reach the level of Art. And I think in 10 years, Art the Clown will be just on a huge level.
Oh yeah. And
because,
sorry, go ahead, Tony.
I was going to say, because they were made in like the 2010s, and even then indie horror was very, not hush hush, but not a lot of people knew about it.
Right.
Then I think Terrifier hit that mad. Like I said, they went on Netflix just in time for just with the pandemic, so nobody had anything else to watch. So that kind of helped it out getting on Netflix. And then it hit theaters, and it had enough buzz behind it that it hit the theaters the first week, and then they put it in for a second week, and then it ended up being in the theaters for a month.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that kind of laid the blueprint out for
it's
something new.
That's totally rare. You mentioned hopefully being able to get a theatrical, and that isn't something that happens a ton, at least from my knowledge. Even like a limited run theatrical. Actually, real quick, Angel's just saying that it pushes the envelope and shows that the persistence in working hard pays off. I agree. And that's what he's doing here as well. But so, I mean, maybe I'm just out of the loop completely, but is that become more of a norm, like since Terrifier and Skinamarink, or is it been a thing for a while where they're getting limited, like Fathom events and stuff like that?
Well, the Winnie the Pooh movie made egregious amounts of money too, and that was a film for had $100,000 budget.
I still haven't seen that movie.
I haven't either, but yeah. I mean, the fact that it made that much money is crazy.
Yeah, that's true. But it's also got the name Winnie the Pooh already built into it.
You're right.
Yeah, everyone grew up with Winnie the Pooh. But I don't know. It's something where I'm hoping, just because we've been saturated with how many Hollywood ideas that are just the same idea with a different face on it, and it's crazy. Like, there's movies that aren't even like super old that were like huge budget wise and like made good money, and they're like, all right, we're just going to remake that one again now with just a different cast,
right?
Like Anaconda is being remade, and it's like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's right now the only two names that I saw was it Pedro Pascal? Is that his name from Last of Us? And I heard Paul Rudd. Those are only like two names that I've heard.
As long as the snake is real, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
that first movie with the animatronic snake was terrifying, and then it got like weird CG.
Well, at least the CG is better now. At least that CG is a little bit better.
Well, hopefully, because you would think there's some movies that it's like, oh, this is the third out of the series, and then the CG goes backwards somehow, and it's just like, what is this?
You're right.
Remix the remix, exactly. But yeah, I don't know. There's been a lot of exciting independent horror stuff for a while though, so I'm glad that it's getting more of a public eye. But at the same time,
there's one I'm definitely waiting for. Most people usually ask me on TikTok which one. A couple names that I'm waiting for, and Phantom Fun World is definitely one that I mentioned many a times. So you said you like to juggle many things at once. How's that going?
So we actually just announced the world premiere yesterday. I think we announced it's going to take place at Horror Hound in Indianapolis this August.
Nice.
the world premiere. So we're going to premiere it, and then we'll start looking at its release.
Hopefully it doesn't. I mean, this is the other painful thing as a fan. When a movie gets made and then it's like, all right, we're doing the festival circuit. And it's like, we have another year to wait before.
No, I'm not doing that.
Right.
I'm not the festival filmmaker.
Well, that's the thing. There's movies that like did the festival circuit, then never got released, and it's like I had my opportunity, but I didn't because it never came around here, and I can't just travel. Like if I could, there's so many like Horror Hound is a con I've always wanted to go to. Texas premiere I've always wanted to go to. So it's like one of these decades I'll get there. Hopefully, if the world's still around. The aliens are coming any day now. I'm convinced. And Angel's saying bring back John Voight for Anaconda, Baby Bird.
I think he only does like Hallmark movies now.
Well, I think the money's probably going to be better in new Anaconda than Hallmark movies, but it's going to have to CGI him walking around. I don't know if he likes to. I don't know.
Yeah,
CGI everything. But so with Phantom Fun World, you're getting that premiere, and has there already been any kind of like thought, or has there already been any kind of approach as far as like distribution on that?
We have had some approaches, and we're just waiting to hear back from them on whether they like the film or whether they want to go with it or what their offer is. So that's sort of where we're at with that, and hopefully, some people will dig it, and we'll have some offers on the table.
Nice, yeah, that'd be great. And is there any? I mean, I'm thinking way too far ahead, but I'm sure you have another billion ideas in your head for other movies. But is there anything else that you think, like after this is all said and done, do you already have your next idea? Like, and you're like, all right, I'm already thinking about something different now.
Kind of, but not enough to honestly give that much thought to it. I'm kind of like in that spot where I'm like, well, I might want to take a break.
Yeah.
If I put everything into this film like I want to, then I'll definitely afterwards need a break.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would hope so. Everyone needs a break. But
so then after the big break, it'll be a Phantom Fun World Wicked One crossover movie talking about multiverses. So they'll meet each other at a carnival instead of a video store.
I don't know. Maybe
you're saying that that festival that they're going to in the beginning, like the haunted attraction kind of deal, Phantom Fun World. I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know. Sergio, you did it again. Are you kidding me? So seems like every week for like the last like month, every time I play a trailer, he says he missed it or something. I don't know if you missed the trailer, but if you did, Sergio, it's on you. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's I'm super excited for you. And I really wish you all of the best. And if I can do something perk wise, I will. I'm gonna convince the wife to not skin my face as I sleep.
So you said there's people that you can't mention that are in the cast, but is there other people that you can mention at this point in time that are in the cast?
It's already listed there, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone is listed on the Indiegogo that I can announce. Maybe this week or early next week, you'll start to see some of those names that horror fans, I think, will dig.
Nice. His camera was freezing up a bit. I don't know if he's still there. There he is. Can you hear us, Tori?
It looks a little frozen.
Oh, he looks very frozen. But anywho.
Must be cold where he is.
Oh, you son of a bitch. So yeah, I don't know. Tori's frozen. If you can hear us, Tori, jump out and bounce back in. Oh, now I was like, where does it, like Angel saying, let it go. So if you just do a search on Indiegogo for The Boy from Below, you'll find it. It's in the show notes below. For the audio listeners, it's also in the show notes, so you can always check that out. We have about 10 minutes left on the show. I'm waiting for it to clear back up because I want him to be able to give his. Oh, there he is. He came back with another camera.
My computer died.
We got two Tories. Yeah, it was weird because you popped up in another area. I was saying that we have to start wrapping up like very shortly, but I was telling people to go check out the Indiegogo and show some support. And even though it's different, check out the earlier ones because I mean, first off, it shows what you can do with a very, very low budget, and imagine what you can do, what he would be able to do with a much larger budget. So I'll look at it that way. So where can people go besides the Indiegogo to find out what's going on with your production, or the Jonestown films and all that? Where can people go to follow you?
So you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at official Tory Jones. And then my website is jonestownfilms.com, which has all kinds of information on there and links to all of our work where you can watch it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm only on Facebook and Instagram. The Boy From Below does have its own Instagram page, which is Boy From Below. So you can go follow that on Instagram. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice. And before we do the rest of the rundown, just out of curiosity, has there been any other movies that you've come across yourself recently that you think is worth a watch, like something that maybe people have missed out there?
That's tough. I haven't really gotten to watch many movies lately. Life's been crazy. But I would say that new Children of the Corn, I watched that the other day. That wasn't terrible. I thought for what it was, I enjoyed it.
I've been putting that off. So now that
it's definitely not the worst installment they've made. So
yeah, well, that's good. Thanks. Yeah. But yeah, so that's cool. I'll have to check that out. It's one that I've been kind of like, sometimes when that stuff comes out, I'm just like, I have to avoid it because it's just going to ruin things for me. Like, I was so nervous about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like the Netflix original one, and it wasn't the worst in the franchise,
right,
by any means, but definitely wasn't the best.
Right,
there's a lot of just goriest out of all of them, but definitely not.
Probably, yeah.
Storyline was kind of lacking a little bit, but it's a new age. It's a new age horror, so
right.
But yeah, so I'll have to check out Children of the Corn. And so Tony, where can people go to follow you? And I know you're going to mention the Twitter, even though you haven't used it in how long?
I don't know, 7 years, something like that. Like, I'll pop into it and just look, but I haven't posted anything myself in God knows how long.
Yeah, same.
But you can find me at Tony Has Nine Fingers on YouTube, where I do movie reviews, unboxings, anything movie related. You'll see on here. Tony Has Nine Fingers on Twitter, which again I haven't used in like 7 years, but I still have it. Tony Has Nine Fingers on TikTok, which is my go-to app now. I use that for live.
Your most interaction, your most followers.
Exactly. So why stop a good thing? So that is the quickest growing social media that I have. So I go there. Tony's Movies on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me. And of course, here, most Tuesdays, whether we have an awesome guest or it's just horror movie talk, check us out Tuesday nights, Wicked Horror Show live. I encourage people to come where you can watch the trailer as opposed to listen to the trailer and check out, our beautiful faces. So I encourage, that's what I go on live before on TikTok. I'm like, listen, come and join us. You can ask questions if you're, an inspiring, someone said they always wanted to act or something. So if you're an inspiring actor, director, or whatever, ask questions and you might learn something you never knew.
We definitely don't have the answers, but our guests may have the answers because we ask the same questions. But
exactly. So Kev,
just a knuckle on Instagram. Besides doing this show, I also am part of That Strange Show with Angel, who's in the chat, and also on Black and White Fright and other things from time to time. Yeah, definitely check out everything. Like all the notes are below for the Indiegogo. Go just do a search for The Wicked One and The Wicked Ones. You can find it on Tubi. It's available to stream in a lot of locations. And even if it's like a few pennies every time you watch the movie, if it's a few pennies that he gets, that's a few pennies closer to making the Boy From Below.
Absolutely. Right? We appreciate any support.
Yeah. And that's the thing is you guys put so much work and effort in just time and everything into these movies, and it's always so painful when there's no like return from it. Like you can't even break even sometimes, and it's like, oh my god,
Right.
it's a passion. You have to love it to do it. So there's a lot
Absolutely.
of people that just would give up. But yeah, and Life is Pain saying thanks everyone for the live. Great night. Yeah. I think Life is Pain. He's the one who's is he over in
Overseas.
yeah, he's in, like, I forget. I'm sorry, Life is Pain. I know you've said it multiple times, but he's in another country and he's awesome. It's like wicked early or wicked late at night, one or the other, where he's at.
Early in the morning.
Early in the morning, yeah.
It's like 3 or 4 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, thanks everyone for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time. I believe next week we have James Balsamo coming on to talk about Hollywood, the werewolf movie that he did with Andy Dick. So that'll be fun. And yeah, we'll see you later. Bye.